Well, I'm Daniel Overdorf, the president of Johnson University, and I'm here today with Dr. Mark Ziese. Dr. Ziese is a Bible scholar. He's an archaeologist, former professor at Cincinnati Christian University and Johnson University, and has spent much of his life exploring Bible lands. And we at Johnson are leading a trip. My wife Carrie and I are hosting a trip to Egypt in January of 2027. And Mark will be our guide. He'll be our teacher along the way. And so I wanted just to take a few minutes to chat with Mark a little bit about that trip and to just to give everybody a sense of what this is going to look like. So Mark, welcome to you. Thank you for joining me today.
Well, thank you, Daniel. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the Nile River over your shoulder, right?
Yeah, and you might see a felucca go by. That's one of those sailboats that we frequently see down here. Anyway,
Yeah, that's good. We don't have any feluccas on the river here at Johnson, so I'll look forward to seeing them on the Nile. So, well, we're excited. We're excited about this trip. We're going to bring some Johnson alumni and friends with us to Egypt with you, and just tell us, kind of paint a picture for us of of that trip. What makes a trip like this unforgettable?
Well, probably for most of us, this is going to be a once in a lifetime experience. We don't usually go through Egypt on the way to somewhere else. So this is a destination that has to be planned and done well. And I think we have a good program that will expose our traveling crew to the variety of sites and periods, archaeologically, biblically, culturally, that one finds across Egypt. The trip itself, I was thinking about this just earlier, Daniel. The trip itself kind of looks like three fingers and two fingers, like that, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
We're going to come and go from Cairo on three different occasions with two other places, two other regions thrown in. So we land in Cairo, we do the pyramids and the Sphinx and all, the grandeur that you usually think of, including the Grand Egyptian Museum, which just opened. It's spectacular. And then that first finger, we're going to go on a cruise. We're going to actually cruise up the Nile and see various temples along the way. We'll get to the end of the Nile. Actually, I am right here at the first cataract right now. And then we'll fly back to Cairo. And so then we hit Cairo. That's the middle finger. And do more of the deep antiquity of Cairo. And then that other little in-betweener is Sinai. So we're going to go down to Sinai, climb the mountain if the legs hold out, and relax a little bit in the desert before coming back to Cairo.
Yeah.
Look at Christian Cairo and then home.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. So tell me a little more. Of course, a lot of people on this trip will be interested in biblical connections, sites that we will see that we read about in Scripture. Of course, you mentioned a couple already, but what are some of those biblical highlights?
Yeah. Well, the two characters that surface most often in association with the story of Egypt is Moses. Of course, he's the big character, and Jesus. Jesus actually has an Egyptian exile of his own. Yeah. So both of those characters will guide our discussion. We'll try to hit places connected with them. In the case of Moses, it's not like if you've been to Israel where you can say, well, this is the place, where Jesus walked. Egypt is not like that. Moses is a little more ephemeral. So we know that Moses was in the area, or we know that Moses, for example, we're going to go to Luxor, and we know that Moses went to boarding school there and walked along the banks of the Nile. His mother probably pulled him out of the river there at Luxor. And then, of course, you've got Sinai and the wilderness. So all that's Moses. And then at the end, as I say, we have this Jesus piece. There are traditions, deep traditions in Cairo that suggest to us that this is where the Holy Family did their sojourn. when they
Hmm.
came here. So
Hmm.
there's some, biblical tidbits
Sure.
all along the way.
Yeah. Well, and imagine through that, of course, you've led numerous trips to Egypt and are on the heels of one right now, even as we speak.
Yeah.
People who experience all of this, there has to be some spiritual impact. And
Sure.
this has to touch you in certain ways. What have you seen in travelers who've come with you? What they've experienced spiritually?
I think the most moving piece of this particular program happens in Sinai. There's something about the austerity of the desert.
Mm, yeah.
We'll camp. I say camp. It's just a rough hotel. Let's put it that way. We'll
Yeah.
camp. We'll have a Bedouin dinner one night with stars
Mm,
overhead, and we'll talk about Moses and the people of God moving across the desert. And then we'll climb to the top of Sinai. And
mm,
most of the people, when they come home, they say, "Oh, that was in more ways than one the high point of the
yeah.
journey.
Yeah.
Get there
Yeah.
at sunrise."
Hmm.
That's nice.
It sounds powerful. Yeah. I've not been to Egypt myself. This will be my first time experiencing these kinds of things. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, I look forward to experiencing, not just seeing, learning, but experiencing,
Right.
deepening my relationship with God through it. But now, of course, some may have some worries. A trip
Sure.
to different parts of the world that maybe we see on the news and worry about. What can you say just about safety, hospitality, just the overall travel?
To begin with, Egypt is a country that operates that runs on the rails of tourism.
Mm,
So they have, in their best interests, this priority of tourism, which means that we will have lots of eyes on the ground. We'll have a fellow who will be a local who will be accompanying us.
mm,
And I need to be very clear about this. He is going to be our licensed guide.
okay.
I'm not capable, I'm not qualified legally to guide in Egypt. So we'll have a partner who
Hmm.
happens to be a translator for Christian Arabic Services. He's a
Oh, wow.
Protestant Christian,
Uh-huh.
uh, and a guy that I've worked with before. So we'll have
Uh,
a local with us. In addition
mhm.
to him, we'll have a program manager who sort of handles all of the details
Yeah.
riding with us. And we'll also have a security man on the bus. So there's a lot of eyes around us at all times. Um, and there are a lot of tourists in country, particularly in this time of year that we're going because it's cooler and more comfortable. So there will
Yeah.
be policemen and army folk around,
Hmm.
and all of them are there not to intimidate us,
Right.
but rather just to let everybody know that we are a priority. So
Right. Right.
um, that's worth mentioning.
Hmm.
It's also worth mentioning that these are paths that millions of people travel. And so we're going to be on worn, a well-worn road as
Hmm.
we move through the country. And we're not going to go
Hmm.
off into any quiet, dangerous areas at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Good.
if
Good.
that helps.
It does. And you and the travel company handle all of their
Yeah,
hotels, their meals, their buses, their boats on the river, their all of that is handled smoothly by the company that you work with.
that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
The most
Good.
dangerous thing here in Egypt is probably the food. If you're not careful,
Uh,
you have to be careful what you eat.
uh, hey, I think over your shoulder I see one of those sailboats.
Oh, going by.
Is that
Oh,
back there?
yeah, he's fluttering in the
Yeah, yeah.
wind.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
A
And it
lot of
was
fun.
when you were talking a minute ago, it was actually a little closer. We had a good view of it over your shoulder.
Oh,
So
thanks.
yeah, very neat. Good.
Yes.
Well, let me just ask one last question. If you were to
Okay.
just to tell people who are watching this, why should they consider making this trip to Egypt?
I would answer that question by saying the reason you need to come with us. That sounds selfish, doesn't it? But the reason you need to with us is because we do things differently. We plan our own program. And unlike all of the other buses that are going to go by and all the other groups that are going to go by, we specifically emphasize a pilgrim perspective. We are here not as tourists, but we're here as pilgrims. We have a spiritual priority. And in the past, that has been a little hard to achieve. But now that we have, as I say, our partner guide friend
Mm-hmm.
with us, who's very sympathetic
Mm-hmm.
to our agenda and to our program, it's much easier to achieve now. So we travel as pilgrims, as people who are looking to enhance our faith in, and that's why we go. You know, our tagline with our Bible Land Explorer, uh, what's the word? The Bible Land Explorer
Yeah.
site that we have, the
Yeah.
tagline is explore the place where faith begins.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to rekindle or kindle
Mm-hmm.
afresh
Yeah.
faith as a result of the things we do and see.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as I said, I'm excited myself to make this trip, and really appreciate you taking some time with us today to talk through what this is going to look like, and just help whet our appetite all the more for what we can experience in Egypt. So I know it's yeah, it's going to be good. Yep. So Mark, thank you so much.
Thank you, Daniel.